Are you looking for seaside property in Shanghai right now?
It's really expensive
Yes, it is.
because it is very hot in demand. I think a lot of people in America don't understand what China is like.
Oh, they have no idea. If you've never been to China, you have no idea. Because what you see on CNN, it's not China. Like,
And
period, full stop.
any kind of influencer or political talking head that's never spent significant time in China, I don't think you take what they say seriously.
They don't know anything.
Because they've never actually been there.
Nope.
It's not even about like visiting there one time as vacation, but like actually spending, I don't know, a month there. Because then you really understand how it works.
Well, yeah.
And the people in China are like, no, it's actually not that great here. Yeah, people in America say it's not that great here. China is safe. It is cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So when people say, well, they only get paid $1,000 a month, it's because their rent's like $400.
So let me ask you this. How many racial crimes are committed in China?
There's like no crime there.
Why is the racial crime in China so low?
I don't know. You think the U.S. is trying to model after China? I think about this too. That China has a system that we criticize all the time. But yet the United States government is trying to get more socialist. They are getting a little more authoritarian. They are trying to remove people's like freedom of speech and freedoms a little bit more. They're really going closer to what China is doing. Elon Musk himself has said he wants X to be the everything app, the American version of WeChat, which is a huge surveillance system.
Yes.
So they have signaled many times that they want to shift in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at what's going on over there. And yes, not everyone's super happy. I get it. But it's cheap, it's efficient, it's safe, and they do it by surveilling.
Yes.
I thought the whole model of this U.S. democracy is that the other countries would model after what the U.S. is doing. But it seems like we're in the situation where the U.S. is modeling after what they are doing.
Man, that was a tough statement. My answer to your tough statement is maybe the American experiment has failed.
Is it failed or is it failing?
I think the world, you and I have traveled the world. You and I have spoken to people in bars, companies, meeting rooms, all over the place during our travels. You have met people who are from that country who look at America in a rational eye, meaning they say, we understand that you're exporting your culture all the time. You're exporting your military power all the time. We don't like it. You've had people tell you that, right? Like, America, why you got to be the world police, right? We've had these conversations with natives in other countries. And so people in other countries recognize America for what it is. It's a huge behemoth. It pushes its weight around, right? Exporting culture, exporting technology, exporting social, exporting, right? We're all about exports. So the world sees America for what it truly is. Most Americans have no idea what the rest of the world actually is. And let me get back to your point. The American government, as it moves more to a totalitarian state like China, will never tell its populace that it wants to move like China. They cannot tell you that. They have to tell you that China is the enemy as we slowly creep towards the Chinese model. That's how it works.
I want to be very clear.
That's the psyop.
I want to be extremely clear. I love the United States. If I could live anywhere in the world, this is exactly where I want to be. I want to stay. I want to raise my family. And this is where I think the potential of freedom is the most possible.
And I do too.
And if you want this country to be the best version of what you perceive it can be, you have to be realistic about who the enemies are or realistic about how other countries operate. I think this idea that all these, especially conservative people on X, are like, oh, China is going to fall because the U.S. is not going to trade with them. You are so delusional. You have no idea how it works over there. And you need to be realistic about what we're facing, what we're going against, and how they operate in order to improve what we have here. Just a quick break before this video continues. If you haven't signed up for Soju yet, go check it out, soj.oo. It's a social discussion platform that we've created. That's where the community is hanging out. Definitely worth checking out, soj.oo. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, do it now. If you're not aware of how it operates and how it works actually really well over there, what you're saying is just complete bullshit.
100%.
You have to understand that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, those guys, they're like Chinese sympathizers. No, it's just being realistic about the world.
So, can I say that to be realistic, because you've used that word 3 times now, to be realistic equates to noticing. Because I see this as a common thread. If I were to look at someone and say, be realistic, what I'm essentially saying to them is open your eyes, bruv. See the world around you. There are patterns that are clearly obvious. And if under the context of nation states and nation building, then you have to see the patterns of people groups. And there are certain people groups and species of people in your country who are an enemy within. And we have to recognize that for what it is. I saw a video, killed me when I saw it. I actually got a flush of emotional being upset. The video I saw was a Islamist in Michigan at an Islamic rally, and he was being interviewed by the local television company or TV company. And what he was saying is, we as radical Islamists in Michigan are not doing enough to destroy the infidels, not doing enough to destroy the terrible imperialism that America is. You live in Dearborn, Michigan. Is no one recognizing that he lives here? He's a citizen, but he's also deeply anti-American? Like, that's being realistic. That there are people groups in every country that hate that country. They are going to continue to grow in size and mass and scale. And they are eventually going to destroy whatever slivers of an original culture that used to be there.
So this is the problem.
This is being realistic. It's noticing the patterns and the enemies inside and outside.
But this is the problem that this situation creates, is that if you believe in freedom and you believe in individual sovereignty, then you have to allow people to hate if they want to.
Yes.
Because you can't control how people feel, you can't monitor, you can't surveil, etc. For a country, maybe that's not the best.
Are you saying?
But if you want to remove that, then you actually have to start monitoring, surveilling, and removing ideas you don't agree with in order to protect what you have, which is what other countries do.
Yes.
It's like we want this ultimate freedom.
Yeah. We want our cake, right? We want our cake and we want to eat it too, right?
Yeah, we want this freedom, but in order to have it, you have to take it, meaning that you actually never have it. So maybe this idea of freedom, I don't know, is that even possible? Like, how do you even do that then? Because how can you control that the people believe in what you believe in there while also giving the freedom to believe whatever they want? Like, maybe it's not, maybe you can't do it. I don't know.
No, actually you can. The answer is simpler than you imagine. The answer is hang out with your own species.
Yeah, but then now you're talking about closing borders. You're talking about who you can hang out with. Some people can be here. Some people cannot be here. And you have to limit the content and information that they input into their brains, because even if they belong here, if they're given other external ideas, they can change.
I get it. But if we take the China model.
You have to basically create like North Korea. It's like nothing in, nothing out.
No, I'm not
walled garden.
I'm not saying North Korea. I think the Chinese model is working effectively. Right? They're if you want, you said this about China. They are modern. They are safe. What else did you say? Cheap. Right. Modern, safe, and cheap. Like everything, all three of those, 100%. Every time I've visited China, I've never felt threatened. I've never felt like my life is in danger. I like the price structures. I feel like I'm getting a good deal.
Although, side note, I was walking in China, walking down this side street in the middle of the day, and this guy wearing like this dragon shirt with tattoos up to his neck gets out of this BMW 7 Series in the middle of China and gets out and starts walking down the street towards me. And I crossed the other side of the street. Like, dude, this guy looks sketch as hell. You know what I mean? This is like a guy straight out of the movie. Yeah. I don't want to walk in his path.
It's probably
because I don't know how this goes.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's because you're probably because you're fatigué. No. Seriously though, if you want peace in a culture, the noticer pattern recognizer in me is clear. Peace only comes with homogeneity. Why do you think there's peace in Japan? Why do you think there's peace in homogeneous countries where 90% of them are the same species group? It's because there's a shared understanding of cultural norms, right? When you mix and match all these different cultures and species, there's going to be a natural friction because there's no foundational basis of commonality.
But
right?
Isn't that essentially what Trump is trying to do? Is that Trump and Elon? Is that we said earlier that
too late
looks
for
like
America.
they are trying to get closer to the Chinese model. They're trying to increase surveillance, trying to control who's in. They're trying to be more hands-on in how people operate. But their end goal is to become more safe, to be more cheap, to provide, to be all those things that we say China is right now.
Yeah, but it's not going to work because China is a homogenous nation. America is too far gone. We're too far into the melting pot, the Jewish saying, right? The Jews created that term, the melting pot, right? We're too far gone. We're too much of a melting pot. The only way that you can have peace in a country like America, that like you have in Japan or other homogeneous countries, is if you completely extract all of the different species groups, which is not possible in America. And so I'm going to give you the answer. If Elon and Trump, or whoever precedes them, decides to strong arm and go the way of China, it's going to be exceptionally worse for Americans because America is not a homogeneous country. You have to start with the base. The foundation of our country is we got blacks, whites, Latinos, Indians. We got people from all nations. Too late, Tsar. Too late. You can only have peace in a homogeneous country, or if you want peace in a heterogeneous country like America, you have to begin extraction. You have to begin mass deportations. That's what you have to do.
Which never happened, by the way.
Which never happened.
Which we never talk about. The fact that they were going to do all these mass deportations, and it was a big thing. And I said, I don't think there's actually that many people deported. And people was like, man, you're full of shit. We're going to remove 10 million people.
Yeah, people got so upset with you, Matt.
And they got so mad at me. And how many people have we deported? Like a few thousand?
Probably zero. What about the Kash Patel guy? Wasn't he supposed to gut the FBI? Wasn't he supposed to get rid of everybody?
Get rid of the deep state. Where have you seen any deep state arrests, by the way? What happened to them?
I think Hillary's still walking around.
Happy as a clam?
She's still deep. No.
Thanks for watching the clip. If you want to see the full episode, click here. If you want to see more clips, click here.